What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel and this Marvel Avengers video. Today we're going to talk about factions, faction-specific perks, and how to get those factions leveled up so you can unlock that sweet gear. But before we get into that and rush into the fight, do consider subscribing to the channel if you like more Marvel Avengers content, including tips, guides, and lore videos, as well as live gameplay. I'm live right here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And with that, let's get into the video. There are two factions in this game. The first one we're going to talk about today is located on the Chimera, your helicarrier, and that's the SHIELD faction. The SHIELD faction coordinator is Alessandro Morales, and I didn't know this at first, but you can collect all of your daily assignments, which will give you your experience and rewards towards leveling up your faction. And once that faction is leveled up, you can find Sydney Gaffer Levine, your SHIELD faction vendor, in the hangar bay of the Chimera. And this is where you purchase your SHIELD faction gear. You can get items at different levels for different characters. The SHIELD store rotates every 24 hours. And as you level up your faction, more gear will become available to you. So now that we've talked about how to get your SHIELD gear and how to upgrade your faction, let's talk about the SHIELD specific perk that we've discovered, which is the SHIELD payload perk. This is available in both faction stores from what I've seen so far, and can be activated via on hit, on counter, or on perfect dodge actions. This specific item, the Untouchable SHIELD Payload Van Braces, has a 23.5% chance towards activating on perfect evading. So let's show you what that looks like. All right, so right here, you're gonna see me after I smash these synthoids. You slide and dodge. A small purple particle effect happens, and a mini rocket launches the enemies into the air. Once again, you'll see the effect here a little more clearly. I'm going to dodge, boom, the little missile, and they're elevated. This is the SHIELD payload perk. Let's slow that down so you can really get a good look at what happens here. All right, here we go. I slide and dodge. There's the little mini rocket. It hits and lifts the enemy into the air. Awesome, right? All right, so now let's head over the war table and make our way to the Utah Badlands, home of the next faction we're going to talk about, which is the Inhuman Alliance, led by none other than Hank Pym himself. Hit the travel to Outpost, and we'll make our way there. And once you're there, you're going to look for Sarah Garza, your Inhuman Alliance faction coordinator. Collect and then complete your daily assignments to include your villain sector, earn that faction experience, and then head on over to Maddie Cho. Maddie Cho is actually a character I was surprised to see in the game, and is the sister to one Amadeus Cho, who is affected by gamma radiation just like the Hulk, and becomes a Hulk character, including a Red Hulk. So we'll see if we end up with him in the game as well. After you get that Faction Alliance experience and you start to collect your gear, we're going to talk about now the Pym payload perk. Just like the SHIELD payload perk, it activates in very much the same way with the same particle effect, but does something a little bit different. And if you assumed based on its name that it shrinks people, you'd be correct. So let's see it in action. This particular Hulk item activates on hit, and as you just saw, same particle effect, same little missile, and it even hits held enemies. Let's get a little closer look at that right there. You can see there's the particle effect and the missile. Boom, it hits the enemy in my hand, but it will not shrink them. Just an FYI for you there. Here we go. Now you can see me smashing on this Exo. The particle effect activates, the Exo's dead, but the Pym missile goes and hits the next closest target and shrinks them. Here's the takedown, and he returns to normal size. Enemies with effects like shrink from the Pym particles, once taken down, will return to normal size. This happens with the big enemies as well as the small enemies. Speaking of big enemies, let's see what this all looks like on a Dreadbot. One thing I want you guys to notice is right here, after the particle effect activates, the Pym payload goes off. The Dreadbot does not shrink because it's shielded. Shielded enemies are unaffected by any of the payload perks. You're going to need to break that shield for that perk to take effect. Notice here, now that the shield is off, the Pym payload activates, and I now have a mini Dreadbot to wail on. If you guys have learned anything so far about factions, the faction payload perks, or anything that I've talked about in this video, please do consider liking and subscribing. I've got one more thing for you that you're really going to find interesting. An eagle-eyed Reddit user, credited now on the screen, found this picture in Captain America's bunk on the Chimera, featuring one Kate Bishop. And if you're not already excited for Kate Bishop, click the video you see on your screen right now to learn why you should be. For more Marvel Avengers content, make sure you've subscribed, stay tuned, stay out of trouble, make good choices, and may the Force be with you. I'll see you guys in the next one.